Hey there everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Waninuki Cheese Cafe. So right now it's July 11th, 2026, and it's the start of my summer vacation where I like to take 2 weeks off from work and just use that to explore around the city, catch up with some friends, help the family out with some things around the house, and of course do some adulting things that I never get a chance to do. And today I want to take a little trip back into town and go back into the West Island by our light rail system. So you may recall that around Victoria Day weekend I would have been attempting to do a trip into Sainte-Anne-de-Bellevue, the city that's on the furthest part of the West Island, but unfortunately, or at least fortunately depending on how you look at it, I took a wrong turn, ended up in Baie and decided I was going to explore over there and find some familiar territory for me. If you want to see that episode again, then I'll put a card in the top right corner for you and you can watch that one. But anyways, I figured today, as my first day off, like my first full day off, I could use that to take a trip over there at long last, see what's on St. Anne Street, grab a coffee, maybe a pint over there, and see how it goes from now until the end of the afternoon. So we'll get to that very soon. But before we do get to that, here's my suggestion for you. That's right, hit that subscribe button below and put the notification bell on, because that way if there's a new video ready to view, you're going to get a pop-up on your phone. And while you're at it, give this video a like, because the more likes I get, the more these videos are promoted all across YouTube. So it does help me a lot more than you realize. And considering I've just surpassed 500 episodes, not 500, 500 likes, wow, I'm losing my train of thought. 500 subscribers. We're gonna see if we can get it to 600 before the year ends. So on with the show, this is it. So I had to do a little detour and get off at Zuriceau station, which, if you're thinking about it and it sounds familiar, it's because I got off here on one of my last wander vlogs to walk around Henry Bourassa Boulevard West. I'll put a card in the top right corner if you want to revisit that episode, because it wasn't that long ago. But I have to remind you what I reminded you from the Baie episode, and that was, you're going to get a couple of trains here that are going to alternate between which terminus it goes to. So there's Deux Montagnes, which is the one I had to get off at and just pass by. There's Ansalon, which is where I need to get to the West Island, and then eventually the Montreal airport when that's completed. So I'm just sticking around here because the next one comes in a few minutes, like 7 minutes, so it gives me time to rest, relax, and then make my way over to the West Island. And hopefully it's not going to be too busy, because I recall the last time I did that, it was opening weekend, so there was a lot more people riding than I expected, so it was kind of hard to do the recording and talking without disturbing everybody. Such is life. And here we are back at Sainte-Anne-de-Bellevue. First time in almost 2 months. So in case you don't remember that episode or haven't clicked on the link, what I could tell you is that I made a mistake the last time and ended up around Morgan and went south, thinking that would eventually take me to the point of the island. Except what happened was that brought me into Baie instead. What I need to do instead is continue along Sainte-Marie Road, go backwards like across the street where the ecomuseum is located, and then from there, hopefully there's a pedestrian path that I could get to the old town of Sainte-Anne, which is going to be Sainte-Anne Street, the main road where all the cafes are. Maybe there's a nice bar, like I said, and probably some nice architecture right by the lake. Not too many homes around here, but as you can see around, it's like a handful of buildings and mostly forestry until I get to the main part of town. But it kind of makes sense because I probably mentioned this in my last walk that I did around here, but this area is very sparsely developed where you got a lot of the old nature, very little sewage, very little or I guess there's still some flora, fauna, like some wildlife around here. It's supposed to give you an idea of what the island of Montreal was like pre-settlement, like what their ecosystem was. Of course, it's easy to forget about it because when you live all around Quebec, you know, you got some towns in between, empty fields, forests, highways and such, so there's still a lot of nature around here in between. Well, lots of corn stalks over here, but it does make sense because this is McGill University's McDonald campus, and it seems like it's from what I heard, it has one of the last pieces of farms on the island of Montreal. That's unusual for me to think about, considering that within the South Shore and the Montérégie region that I live around, it's a whole bunch of farms. You could go pick corn, you could do some blueberry picking, strawberry fields forever. What the? Cranberry sauce? Oh, yeah, if you're a Beatles fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about there. I was always under the impression that the homes around here would be a little bit older, but shows that even this far into the island that they're going to find a few of these apartment condos that are built and has the same finishing as I see all around my neighborhood. Same siding, same brick, same architecture. I guess if you want to build homes, you're going to go wherever you can for them. I'm honestly surprised at just how much greenery is over here, even though I was saying that a lot of this was undeveloped. I guess it's just me exploring for the first time on camera and just marveling at it. Okay, I guess this answers one of my questions for my family. So around here is where the ecomuseum is located. It's about a 20-minute walk to be able to get over here, so I guess it shows that it is definitely accessible. And apparently I see a sign that further up is supposed to be the aviation museum. That could be something interesting to check out one of these days. Okay, I've hit another intersection around here. So I'm now on the corner of Chemin de Sainte-Anne and Pine Street. Not to be confused with Pine Avenue because that's actually within downtown Montreal. So if I was to go further down this way, this would actually take me within old Sainte-Anne-de-Bellevue. Whereas if I was to go further east, it seems like it's a dirt path. It seems like there's mostly nature around there. Oh, and an arboretum around here. Because I could also see that within the park, there's some posters with information on a lot of the plant life that's around here. I guess if I ever want to come back around, then technically I could do this as a separate video. I just don't know how much it's going to be interesting to capture on camera just because, well, how much of nature can I really capture? So anyways, we're going to go down to Pine, and then from there, we should be a hop and a skip away. Oops. I think I'm taking a wrong turn because there isn't exactly a pedestrian path around here. So I guess I will have to go west instead. If I go north, that's just apparently a cul-de-sac and nothing but greenery. Okay, take two. Nice big fancy house. I'm walking on the shoulder over here because I see that just like other parts of the West Island, if you go further into the west, there is no sidewalk or even a designated pedestrian area, or I'm hoping there is one, so I'm just gonna have to be cautious around here. And okay, there's more houses, so false alarm. Okay, I might have bit off more than I could chew right now, because I was trying to go along this path to go across the 40 and eventually the 20, but it looks like it's almost going to be impossible to get there on foot. Maybe what I should do is wait till the next 212 bus arrives, catch that to go over into Old Sainte-Anne, and then I think I'll be able to manage. Yeah, nice photos taken, but at the same time, feel like that this is not accessible by foot, unless it is, and I'm just missing the path. Well, this is not going the way I hoped it would have gone, because again, I was kind of hoping to get a pedestrian path to go from this part of the town all the way to the south, but it also seems like that not only do I not have a pedestrian path or even an easy way to get through, there isn't even a bus for the next 20 minutes. So what I think I'm going to be doing is probably just going to look around the Arboretum, wrap things up, and then probably head back around the center of town. Let's see if there's anything interesting along the way too. Well, I guess one more thing that kind of amazes me is I was kind of surprised when I was in the Far East End that some of the addresses could get to the 14,000s, the civic numbers, but over here I think I'm up to the 21,000s, which it's the only point in the island I could think of that ever gets that high. Kind of crazy. And I decided to make a judgment call. It's been a nice run over here, and I feel like if I want to do the old part of Sainte-Anne-de-Bellevue, I am going to probably want to do that as a separate trip and maybe take a bus around there instead of going from the Rem, because I got the 211 if I want one of the longest bus rides ever. There's the 210, the 212, because the 210 doesn't seem to be running on the weekdays. But it's not to say that this trip was an entire bust. Far from it. I got to explore a bit more in detail a new part of the island, check out Sainte-Anne-de-Bellevue for the very first time in a bit more detail. Enjoy seeing some of the greenery that's around here, find out the location of the Arboretum, the Aviation Museum, even the ecomuseum. Could all be a future trips for down the road, whether on camera or with the rest of my family. So overall, a nice way to kick off a relaxing weekend and to kick off the Saturday. Oh, what am I saying? Saturday weekend, that's an oxymoron. Okay, I'm losing my vocabulary. Good way to kick off my vacation. And what I think I'll do is I'll just head back into the center of town, enjoy a cold beverage, and probably just enjoy something at one of my classic pubs. So until then, everybody, thanks for watching this latest edition of the Wananuki Cheese Cafe. So if you like what you see, you know what to do. That's right. Hit that subscribe button below. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy the wanders, the stories, explorations, and everything that comes with it. And if you have any ideas for future episodes, leave in the comments section, and I'll see if maybe one day I could incorporate them down the road. Until then, take care, see you next time, and above all else, enjoy the ride.